Traverse. Well, never mind. Forget me. I don't know anything.
Well, and to me, this is just a little bit of an evolution.
Okay.
You know, the Abzan Traverse deck that we've talked about is so close to a Death Shadow deck. You know, it doesn't play the Death Shadows, but it's still super efficient. A lot of small creatures, a lot of cheap spells. And so to transition from that to this, to me, it's an easy transition.
I played in the team open in Atlanta 2 weeks ago with Chad Castell and Osip Lebedovich, and Chad played Abzan Traverse. He went 7-2 with the deck in the modern portion of the event. Deck's really good, actually. I was pleasantly surprised by how good the deck was. Very consistent.
Yes.
Probably not as good as Death Shadow, but I do think it's very similar to Death Shadow, as you did mention. I think it actually has a pretty good Death Shadow matchup.
Yes.
You see Jadine with Grixis Death Shadow here. Going to play a little Thought Scour, turn over a couple of cards, among them a Teamer Battle Rage. Against Will Harrod, who is playing Counters Company. Here's another Thought Scour. Another Thought Scour goes in the graveyard. Death Shadow as well. Jadine will draw. Let's see if she's got a cheap Delve threat for the second turn of the game.
So I don't know how much you've been keeping up in Modern.
Keep up with everything.
All right, there's been a little bit
format.
Of evolution in Counters Company. You know what the new spicy card is that some of the decks are playing?
Ooh, let me know.
Hall of the Bandit Warlord. I don't know if we're going to be seeing it out of this deck.
Oh, Hall. Oh, no, so there's a version of this deck that people have been playing on Magic Online with Hall of the Bandit Lord and Wild Cantor, and it's very all-in.
Yes.
Not entirely sure it's good.
No, neither am I, but I always just think it's interesting how, I don't know, we talk about how we couldn't arrive at certain decks. We just don't have the head to get certain places.
Oh, yeah.
But that's kind of how these things happen, is people just constantly try things. People constantly innovate. It's so dynamic, you know, the shifting landscape of Modern. That's what interests me. Not so much that, like, oh, hey, is this mediocre land actually awesome in this deck? It's just the fact that people come up with all of these ideas and they keep trying things. Yeah,
people will try anything. Hall of the Bandit Lord is it's an interesting version of that deck. It's just, like I said, it's a very all-in version. Here's another Thought Scour. Stubborn Denial on a land, go to the graveyard. Another card drawn. I think that it's cool that people are trying it, and I think that people are still trying to figure out the best way to build this Counters Company deck. I still don't think anyone knows the best way to do it, because we've seen Brendan DeCandio play the deck a lot, but he hasn't had a top 8 with it yet, if memory serves. You've got Will playing this, what I would consider a pretty stock version of the deck.
Yep.
You know, sure, he's got a Tireless Track in his main deck, but we're looking at all the combo pieces, 4 Collected Companies, 4 Quarter Callings, all that stuff. Nothing too wild going on here. So.
Well, and just dabbling in black for some Viscera Seers.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen them be a little more creative with red.
True.
For a couple of different cards, the Magus of the Moon and some cards like that.
Death Shadow's arrived. A very powerful 2/2 right now. So we head back over to Will. JD, with just a couple cards in the graveyard. Not too many. Because here's a Eternal Witness going to get back a Scavenging Ooze.
Yeah, that's a slow way to get where you're going.
Oh, yeah. Now, JD played a Lightning Bolt in that Scavenging Ooze previously. How many bolts is she working with this weekend? Because it's a card that's been pushed out of the format.
That's a good question, because all the time we're like, man, this is a good spot for Lightning Bolt. She is playing 2 of them.
Okay. Maybe a way to get a little edge on the mirrors. Death Shadow is now 4/4 coming on in.
One of the problems is that we are often being situational with our analysis. We're like, this is a good spot for Lightning Bolt, where there are so many spots where we could just constantly say, this is not a good spot for Lightning Bolt.
Absolutely.
It does not line up well against Death Shadow, Gurmag Angler, Tassiger. So that's the reason it's been pushed out of the format.
Any of the threats from Eldrazi Tron?
Yes.
Yeah, doesn't kill basically any of them. Thought Not Seer, Reality Smasher, Endbringer. As your Scavenging Ooze. There is an Overgrown Tomb. Oddly enough, Will without any white mana. As here's Devoted Druid now. Maybe looking to set up the combo next turn. We're going to head back over to Jadine. It's time for a Fatal Push. Yes. Goodbye, Scavenging Ooze. Not concerned with Devoted Druid just yet is Klomparens. In with Death Shadow. 4 more. Will fall down to 10. The follow-up. It's a Collective Brutality. Now simply pass the turn back. Did not have interest in escalating the Collective Brutality. Stubborn Denial is the card that Will wants to take a look at, see if it's a hard counter at this point. It is. Here is Collective Company. And I think we see a Stubborn Denial. And we do. To take care of that powerful spell, so that's why you did not see the escalate.
Well, and I like Will main phasing it there. He's saying, I don't want to just walk into Snapcaster Mage into this counter spell.
That's very true. In for 4. Eternal Witness, jump in front of it. Pass the turn back. Will draw. Does he have another Collective Company? Yes, that will resolve. Top 6. Couple of goodies there. Devoted Druid and Vizier of Remedies. Well, that's a combo next turn.
The question is, does he get the next turn?
That is the question. Sacrifice Scalding Tarn is what Jadine will do.
I think Jadine's last card is a Teamer Battle Rage, and Will is just dead here.
Well, if that is the last card, then Will is just dead here.
But I'm not 100% on that.
Blood Crypt's going to enter the battlefield untapped.
I think we're going to figure it out real quick here.
I have a feeling, yes. As old Death Shadow is a 7/7 right now. Klomparens will draw. I don't think it's a Teamer Battle Rage, Craig.
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
This would be a pretty sweet slow roll if it was.
Yeah, sweet's a word you could use.
You aren't all in on some theatrics now and then?
Depends on my mood.
A little showmanship?
Young Cedric would be.
Young Cedric wasn't always a class act.
No, young Cedric couldn't spell class. He did not go to class, and he could not spell class.
Yeah, young Craig was pretty similar.
Yeah.
But you know that.
Yeah. We are going to have a block. Okay. Big follow-up. Kolaghan's Command, perhaps? That'd be a doozy right now. Yes. Kill that. Get this back. Play another Death Shadow. And pass. Will play a Forest. Those are birds.
They're food.
Yeah.
Death Shadow food.
Those aren't great. Here come the shadows. Remember, they're 7/7s right now. Don't know if he needs to double chump block or not. Gotta wonder what the avenue is to win. Gonna take 7, fall down to 3. Well, that's that. Lightning Bolt will get the job done. Jadine Klomparens gonna win this game and match over Will Harrod. 2-1. Grixis Death Shadow is what Jadine's playing this week, and not Abs on Traverse, and it is doing very well for her thus far. 2-0 takes care of Counters Company.